So I've got a storage problem. These video projects sometimes take upwards of 100 gigabytes of storage space, thus filling my phone and computer up in no time at all. While my phone has 256 gigs of storage in addition to a micro SD card slot, my computer only has a 500 gig SSD in it. That leaves room for maybe 2 or 3 full-length videos at a time. Wouldn't you guess I've reached my limit here? I've also got other devices that I'd like to back up somewhere. I've got a lot of spare parts lying around because nerd. So with the aid of a few new hard drives, I wanted to see if I could build my very own network-attached storage solution. To be clear, this is not a comprehensive guide on how to build a NAS. I'm just showing how I wandered my way to a solution that works for me. It's more about the journey here. For the uninitiated, a NAS is basically just a server that runs on your local network, with a bunch of hard drives installed in it for mass storage of various files. Most big YouTubers have one for the exact purposes that I need: video storage. Video files are big, and I definitely need a place for them. Some people go all out with high-end networking at up to 10 gigabits per second, and this is so that they can edit their videos straight off the server without transferring the files to their local machine first. I'm gonna keep it simple with 3 2TB drives, 1 gigabit networking, because that's the only network switch I have at the moment, and parts that I have lying around already, since I'm cheap like that. So how do we start? I don't own any servers. I've only got consumer grade desktops around here. How do we make a server out of them? Hardware in small use cases like this doesn't matter a ton. It's the operating system and software you choose to run on that hardware that gets you where you want to go. In this case, we're going to be using TrueNAS Core, a free open source operating system specifically designed to run network storage systems. It can also run other services like Plex and even Minecraft, but that's a tangent for another time. Time to suss out what hardware I have on hand and see what'll work best for this project. I will mention that I've had the idea of doing this well before I revitalized this channel and started uploading again. My previous attempt at this didn't work out due to some faulty hardware, and I'm going to have to strip out the old build and parse out what's needed. I'll need the drives, power supply, and GPU, and can cast aside everything else. I haven't really taken a deep look at any of these parts. I'm just seeing what I have right now and what I can potentially Frankenstein together. Problem with this original build is that that motherboard's dead. It does not boot past the BIOS splash screen. Other than that, we have 2 options. Option 1 is this Lenovo pre-build I had repaired for a friend. The original motherboard had died, so I replaced it for him, and it ended up back in my hands after I helped him upgrade to a new system. Option 2 is the pre-built PC he had before the Lenovo, and it was given to me alongside the other system. I don't even know the specs of this thing, and the old AIO liquid cooler sketches me out. I don't really want to mess with coolant, so I'd prefer to air cool the CPU if possible. In addition to those 2 systems, I have this empty Cooler Master case. It's micro ATX and will fit the Gigabyte board in the Lenovo PC just fine. After checking out the inside, it appears to have enough space for my drives as well. Since it'll fit everything, I decided to go with option 1. But transfer the parts into this case. The Lenovo case is bulky and it has a glass side panel, which doesn't really fit the vibe for this project. And the other computers in my collection are a bit too old for this task, so I'll save them for future projects. Here are all the parts I'm using for the project if you're curious. Also, note to editor, put a disclaimer in there that you shouldn't be building computers on carpet. This is dumb, don't do that. I don't care. As a side note, don't build computers on carpet if you care about your components. Static charges can kill parts. I don't have anything precious. Plus, I've never had issues in the past, so I got lazy with it. Sue me. How much time do we have before I have to dump footage? 20 minutes? Why doesn't that want to? Oh, because the cable's behind it. Oh, that's dumb. Man, did I route this SATA cable? Because if so, I'm an idiot. They didn't button up against everything here. This red SATA cable is gonna be the thing that makes this take 20 minutes. Just so we're clear, I do need this to work. When I keep saying I have 20 minutes, it's because my phone is gonna fill up with storage in 20 minutes. And I have nowhere to offload the footage. These drives are where I plan to offload the footage. You guys see this? This is where it was pinned under the case. I don't know if I should use this SATA cable now, because those wires might be totally screwed in there. That's ridiculous. I'm beginning to realize I shouldn't have installed the power supply yet. God damn it. You don't need to watch me hook up all the power connectors again. I don't f***ing care. After getting everything situated, this is what the build ended up looking like. It's a little messy, but not bad considering that it's made of crap I just found lying around. I did forget to install the SSD, which isn't a huge deal, I just chucked it in there real quick. Think through things when you do this. Don't be like me. Think through it. It's going to be used as the boot drive for TrueNAS once it's installed. There's only one problem. My boot SSD has an old copy of Windows on it from a previous system. I don't remember what I had on there, so I'll need to boot into it for data recovery purposes. I am curious to see how this old Windows installation tries to work. Monitor's coming up, the system is posted. Oh, it's just booting straight into it. Look at it go. It took a minute to load up due to the new build having different hardware, but I was able to get to the desktop. Yup, this is exactly what I expected to see. Ooh, oh wow. Oh my god, this is so old. What is happening? What? Oh my god, this thing's full. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm literally just gonna SMB this over to my... Boom. I spent some time poking around and was able to transfer some files to my current Windows laptop through the network. Got everything copied over, and now we can say a final goodbye to this Windows installation. And if it starts doing an update when I specifically told it not to, I'm gonna be pissed, because I'm never using this install again. Updating it is pointless. Oh my god. You know what we're gonna do? It, man. I don't give a shit. I told it not to update, and you know what it started doing? Started updating. You saw me click that shit. Who do you think I am, Windows? Ain't nobody give a shit about you, Windows. I burned the TrueNAS Core ISO image onto a flash drive using Rufus, which is a popular disk imaging program, and I was off to the races. I made it into the boot selection screen by spamming F12 on startup, then selected the USB drive from the menu. Alright, there we are. Setup loaded with no problems, and was shockingly easy to run through. I configured a password for the root account, which is basically the master account of the whole system. I hope that's good enough. The walls of text generated by the installer add to the nerdiness of the whole ordeal. This is nerdy as hell on a CRT, man. This is true hacker shit right here. It's like I'm Neo in the Matrix. Setup completed with no issues, and I was greeted by a command prompt with several configuration options. I decided I would statically set my IP address from here. That way it's easier to remember, and I don't have to worry about it changing on me at a later date. Yeah, we're gonna go 192.168. And I put my network as .69 and what's easy to remember? Do 212/24. Do not configure IPv6. IPv6. From there, I could access the web interface from any computer on my network and continue further configuration. I started by creating a storage pool utilizing my 3 2TB disks. I used a RAID Z array. This requires the disks to be the same capacity and preferably the same type and brand as well. Basically, what RAID Z does is allow the 3 drives to act as one, combining their storage capacity. So I should get a total of 6 terabytes of storage, right? Not exactly. RAID Z has fault tolerance for one drive. Basically, one of the 3 drives can totally die, without any data loss. This means I have about 4 terabytes of capacity, as an extra drive is needed to help store some of the parity information across the array. This parity information is used to rebuild the data if one of the drives needs to be replaced.
3.51 terabytes. Awesome, dude.
After this, I went on to create an SMB share. SMB is a file sharing protocol built into most modern operating systems that will allow the transfer of data to and from the array. You can map the share in your OS's file browser so that it shows up for easy access, much like a removable hard drive or flash drive. This is where I experienced some hiccups. I could create the share, but a password screen popped up and my credentials I had previously set were not working. Eventually, I found out that I needed to create a new user in TrueNAS and apply the necessary permissions to that user. Using the root account for casual data access isn't advisable for security reasons, and TrueNAS explicitly prevents you from doing so. After creating a new user, I could access the share.
Oh my god, it let me in. It just didn't want me to sign in as root. There we go, that's it. Oh my god. I freaking did it.
Time to start copying files over.
Alright, now let's test by copying a file over. What do I have that is worth putting on here? Let's just copy this and then just to test it out, let's do it.
Nope.
Destination folder access denied. I gave myself permission. God damn it.
This truly had me for a while. I could not figure out why I didn't have write access, so I ended up using a YouTube tutorial for help. It wasn't initially helpful. SMB shares in TrueNAS have something called an access control list, or ACL for short. This allows you to give specific users and groups on the system specific levels of access for a given share. This is useful in enterprise settings where you have multiple departments with different shares. You can ensure one user or department gets access to their necessary files while preventing them from accessing files meant for another department. I'm just one person with one share, so I wanted to give my user full access to everything. According to the account settings, it was set to have full read-write access. However, this was not applying properly. I even tried changing the permission settings in the Windows File Explorer, which, as I expected, resulted in this.
Huh. Thank you, Windows. Okay. Cancel. I didn't think that would work. It's obviously something here in the web interface that I have to fix, not something that Windows can manage.
Eventually, I ran through that tutorial again and discovered that I missed a step when I was setting up the pool from my memory. In the tutorial, they had added a data set when creating the storage pool. I had forgotten about this when doing it from my memory, and it's why I could never write anything to the pool, even with the correct user permissions. So what's a data set do? Well, it creates a file system on the array. File systems are what computers use to format the data written to any form of media. So without adding a dataset with a file system, it's physically impossible to write data to the disks. The computer simply won't understand how to organize the data that needs to be written. No wonder nothing was working. With a dataset now added, I could apply a file system level ACL that allowed my user to access the array.
Full control. Full control. Save.
It's the moment of truth. Could I write data to my NAS?
All right, the real test here. The real shit. Yeah, the TrueNAS ISO. Straight up. Oh my god. Okay, it's frozen. That's great.
Windows froze, partly through the process of copying the ISO file I used for testing. I tried creating a folder and a tastefully drawn image file, and those wrote fine. So it was at least partially functional. I tried to delete the partially copied file, then Explorer completely crashed. I gave up on Windows and tried to connect using my Mac instead, but same thing. Beach Ball Central. Finder crashed, and it resulted in me restarting the whole computer.
This is f***ing dumb. I hate this.
This time, rather than trying to delete the corrupted ISO file, I tried dragging on a random video file from my desktop. It spent a ridiculous amount of time preparing the transfer, then transferred the file in about 2 seconds.
We're still preparing over here? My God. Oh. It took more time to prepare than it did to actually copy the file. I mean, that's it. I'm not gonna play too much of that because it's freaking Green Day.
From there, I went big and copied the entire movies folder from my Mac into the NAS.
This might take a long time.
It seemed like it would take ages, but it settled in at about 2 hours for a 390 gigabyte transfer. Unfortunately, I had to go to work at this point, so I set the computer so that it wouldn't sleep and left. When I returned, the files had copied without any issues. Thank God. From then on, everything was working like I expected. I was even able to delete that cursed ISO image. It was finally time to button up the tower and put the side panel back on. From there, I could move the tower into its own special corner where it will live out its days until I decide otherwise. I ended up propping the case up on some old VHS tapes so that the power supply fan could breathe a little bit. That's another negative side effect of carpeting in computers. While this build had its challenges, it wasn't too difficult to build and set up, and it was definitely worth the time and effort. I wouldn't be putting this video out without it. That's how bad my storage situation got. And I'll be goddamned if I pay out of pocket for cloud storage. It's my data stored my way and I love it. I'll probably end up redoing the build a third time from the ground up if I end up needing more space. Maybe I'll even start backing up my home video collection and start using Plex. That's a project for future me though. For now, this is perfect. And that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know that it's been a while since my last upload, and I'm sorry about that. I had various amounts of life crap happen between the tape deck video and now, and I'm just now starting to get back on my feet again. It is a goal of mine in 2025 to make a more consistent upload schedule. If any of you have stuck around, thank you. It really does mean a lot to me. I have so many more video ideas for you all, and I hope to get them out in a quick and consistent manner. Anyways, that's gonna do it for now, and I'll see you again soon.